Alright, now that you've got the tire off, you may also want to clean this up, with the wire brush. So, yeah, I'll come back and do that later, but clean that up. So the next thing you can do once you got the tire off, you'll see this little key right there. You can pull that out if you need to. All right, the next thing that you will need to do is try and get out this bolt in here. There's a cap on it. Take that cap off, and you will need a T50 torque wrench. So you can put that in there and try to get it out. Mine is a little stuck, so I sprayed it with some grease. Hopefully it'll come out now. If not, I might have to hit it. And now that this thing is free, this bottom piece should pivot up, and that will loosen that as well. So let's try that. Alright, so it looks like if you're unable to get the bolt that's in here out, it is possible to beat and bang and spray and eventually get this thing, once you take that pin out, lift it up, and then it kind of pushes out. So, it was lift up, push out. And then you can take your brake pads out, which there are none. They're completely gone on this one. Whoops. So you still need to get that bolt, and then of course the 2 bolts in the back. Here's a shot of those bolts from the back side. That's what you're trying to get unlocked. I will say, if you've never taken your rotor off before, I know from doing the other rotor already that apparently the factory put a little Loctite. So no amount of spraying will really do anything. You might need to use drastic measures. And by drastic measures, I mean a torch. This is dangerous, so use at your own risk, and be safe. With enough persistence, you can break it free. You can see there's a little bit of some kind of Loctite or something that they put in there, and that's what you're fighting against. All right, now time to get the other 2 out. And there's number 2. I don't know why, but the first one I did, this bolt came out really easily because it was greased and, not rusted at all. But this one was dang stuck, so I had to beat and bang and extra, spray and stuff, but eventually, oh, come on, focus. Eventually, you will succeed. And once you remove this bolt all the way, try and pull that out. You see that one is much longer, but eventually came out. Now this piece can just be set up and around somewhere where it'll stay out of your way. And now we can get to that one, and I'm going to use the torch again. And there's the other one. All right, now we have this piece off, and now this rotor comes right off. I said this rotor comes right off, but it could be rusted here and here, and you might have to beat and bang, but I got lucky. Next, I recommend using some rust remover tools and clean this whole thing up really well so that in the future you don't have to worry about beating and banging to get it back off. All right, before we put everything back together, we first need to get this piston, caliper, whatever it is, back into its original position. Now this one, you can't just use a C-clamp and push it in. This one actually twists, but you can use pair of channel locks and just twist it in. If it doesn't look like this, with this little hole and everything, it might be, you might have a type that you can just push in, but mine are not. So I should say that there is a tool that you can use to spin it and push in the caliper, but if you don't have that, channel locks do work. As you can see, spinning this causes this rubber piece to occasionally spin as well, and what I do is I just maneuver it back around every once in a while to prevent it from cramping up too much and then breaking the rubber piece. And finally, with a little bit of persistence, you can get that sucker all the way back in, and now we can install everything back. This piece, the way it goes is, this is how it goes. Once you get those two bolts back on and as tight as you want them to be, this piece can now come back. The way you install the pads, they actually get installed into this piece first, so like that, and then of course with the pad facing in, and there we go. They install like that, and on the inside as well. And then this piece comes down, provided that you have the caliper all the way back in. Once we get those pads back in, we next need to, ooh, that's hot. Ooh, that's very hot. We next need to install this, which if you had setting out in the sun, is very hot. Remember the flathead side goes in from the back, so I'll push that down. There's also a little groove. And lastly, the hole for the lock, you'll want to angle that facing out, but also kind of up. With a little bit of trial and error, you can get that pin back inside. All right, and there you go. And you know, you put the tire back on and everything back on, and you're done. Good job. All right, thanks for watching. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic, but I learned a lot through this process and had a lot of fun doing it. A lot of trial and error involved. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment down below and please subscribe. Thank you.